The concept of a Satanic New World Order has been a topic of speculation and debate among various groups, with some believing it to be a real entity seeking to control and oppress humanity. One of the alleged tools being used by this supposed organization to achieve its goals is the propaganda surrounding global warming. The idea is that by manipulating public perception and creating a sense of urgency around climate change, the New World Order can implement policies and regulations that restrict individual freedoms and consolidate power. Proponents of this theory argue that the emphasis on global warming is exaggerated and that the science behind it is not as clear-cut as presented by mainstream media and governments. They claim that the agenda is not really about saving the planet, but rather about using the issue as a pretext to impose a new world order characterized by a centralized, authoritarian government that controls all aspects of life. This, they believe, is being done to further the interests of a small elite at the expense of the majority. One of the ways this is allegedly being achieved is through the implementation of policies aimed at reducing carbon emissions and transitioning to renewable energy sources. While these goals may seem noble, critics argue that they are being used as a Trojan horse to introduce more stringent regulations, increase taxes, and limit personal freedoms. For example, the push for electric vehicles and the phasing out of internal combustion engines could lead to greater dependence on government-controlled infrastructure, potentially restricting individual mobility and autonomy. Moreover, the focus on global warming has also led to the creation of a multi-billion-dollar industry centered around sustainability and green technologies. This has created new opportunities for corporations and governments to profit from the perceived crisis, often at the expense of small businesses and individual entrepreneurs. The carbon credit system, for instance, has been criticized for being a form of modern-day indulgence, where the wealthy can buy their way out of their environmental sins while the poor are left to bear the brunt of the regulations. Propaganda surrounding global warming has also been accused of being used to create a culture of fear and guilt, where individuals are made to feel responsible for the perceived crisis and are thus more likely to accept draconian measures to mitigate it. This can be seen in the way climate change is often presented as an existential threat, with predictions of catastrophic consequences if immediate action is not taken. While the intention may be to raise awareness and prompt action, the result is often a sense of hopelessness and powerlessness among the general public, which can be exploited by those seeking to consolidate power. Furthermore, the alleged Satanic New World Order is said to be using global warming propaganda to promote a Malthusian agenda, which seeks to reduce the global population and create a more manageable, subservient society. This is often linked to the idea of sustainable development, which, while sounding benign, is believed by some to be a euphemism for population control and the restriction of resources. The fear is that, under the guise of protecting the planet, governments and corporations will implement policies that prioritize the interests of the elite over those of the general population, leading to a form of eco-totalitarianism. In conclusion, while the idea of a Satanic New World Order using global warming propaganda to oppress humanity may seem like the stuff of conspiracy theories, it is essential to consider the potential motivations and consequences of the climate change agenda. By examining the ways in which the issue is being used to manipulate public perception and implement restrictive policies, we can better understand the complexities of the debate and make more informed decisions about the future of our planet. Ultimately, it is crucial to approach this topic with a critical and nuanced perspective, recognizing both the legitimate concerns surrounding climate change and the potential for exploitation and manipulation by those seeking to further their own interests.